Hello. I am standing in the Logan Cemetery next to the Weeping Woman. This statue represents a very real woman who murdered her children. She had 4 children, and she murdered each one of them in a different way. One, she hung off the banister. One, she smothered with a pillow. And one, she drowned in the bathtub. And another, she ran over with the car. Now, this woman, real or not real, represents something in our culture, something in our society, especially considering the fact that another very popular legend comes from Cache Valley is the nunnery. The nunnery is about a summer retreat up in Logan Canyon, and they say that it was a retreat for movie stars, and then it became a retreat for the Catholic Church, where they would send nuns. Some stories say that nuns that were pregnant, other stories say nuns that would become pregnant. Most stories claim that babies were murdered by their mothers or by other nuns, drowned in the pool, thrown off cliffs, left to starve in the tunnels underneath, or buried in fireplaces. The unique thing about all these legends is that despite their dynamism and the fact that they do change over time, and some of them, not all of the legends are identical, they do share a motif of dead children and many of murdering mothers. Legends are stories told as true, or stories that could be believable. According to Folklore, Myths, and Legends, a world perspective by Donna Rosenberg, legends can be expected to reflect significant aspects of their culture. They are created for the purpose of conveying cultural values, attitudes, and pride. Similarly, Linda Day writes, the genre of legend focuses on the communication of an open or hidden message. Most legends are born from the kernels of historical facts and remain legends as long as they are told. But mothers murdering their children? Legends stem from truth. And unfortunately, it is more common than one might want to believe. According to forensic psychologist Jeffrey R. McKee, statistics in 2001 show that 1,300 children died due to abuse or neglect by their parents or caretakers. 390 children, 1 child each day, were killed by their mothers. Haim continues, most harrowing is the fact that the numbers are likely even higher, given that some murders go undetected, as in cases of young mothers who flush newborns down toilets or leave them to die in dumpsters. McKee supports this research that conclude many neonaticide, meaning they are killed on their first day of life, and first week infanticide, victims are never found. Scholarship on the subject reveals that many mothers are overwhelmed with stress and anxiety, which leads them to snapping or perhaps killing their child or neglecting their child or giving up altogether on life. Now, the scholarship of the anxiety of motherhood is overwhelming in substance and reveals a very real reality of unattainable expectations of motherhood. Although I do not have time to get into the depths of the scholarship on the anxiety of motherhood, it's important to note that the fear of snapping is very real for so many women. Perhaps this is why the legends exist in our society. Perhaps that is why the legends contain this motif of murdering mothers. Not only does it contain the possibility of actually happening, mothers do murder their children. It also discovers a very real fear of our culture, of society. Dr. Jeffrey McKee explains the human reaction to hearing an account of a murderous mother. He writes, "We are repelled yet mesmerized by the emerging details of the case. We are morbidly curious about how a mother could destroy this first and most fundamental relationship that we have all had in our lives. These crimes often invoke memories of our own childhoods, when we may have feared our parents' anger. We may wonder whether our mothers may have had intentions to kill, harm, or abandon us. For those of us who are parents, we may recall episodes in our lives when we felt so enraged at our children that our physical discipline went beyond limits. We were shocked to learn that we were capable of such violence. We may also remember, with guilt, wanting to leave home, to be free of the burdens of insistent, demanding children. In our deepest, most secret thoughts, however, we may be fearful of whether we too, as parents, might act on this dark impulse of filicide. I argue that these legends reveal a very real fear of ourselves and of others. I argue that this fear stems from extreme reality, often hidden under happy valley masks of the anxiety and fear of motherhood.